Hello guys, this is Bull Cable back with another video, and today we're playing Clash Royale. And basically, in this video I basically set myself a task. Can I make the worst deck in Clash Royale? Now this was a pretty hard task because basically we've got all these cards. They all have their purpose, they all have their goods and their bad points. This is not the finished deck here. The first original deck I actually made is probably the worst deck. I mean, it wasn't so much me trying to make the worst deck, it was me trying to combine the worst cards into a deck. So this is my the deck that I first created here, and this is, in my opinion, the worst cards in the game. Now, obviously, not all these cards are really bad, because you can't get a full deck of bad cards because they all have their good purposes. So here I decided to put the Zap in, and I think the Zap does deserve to be a pretty bad card. It doesn't do much damage. It does a small sort of stun. And it's not really much use. It's a waste of a card slot, in my opinion. It can't really counter anything except for skeletons, maybe. It's just not a good card. So then I kind of thought maybe the skeletons, the one-cost skeletons, are pretty bad. I never see anybody use these. They're so bad. They're so badly countered. The only thing that they're good at countering, really, is, like, I suppose, a prince, and maybe a hog rider. You're not gonna. The hog rider is gonna get some hits in, but it's okay at defending a prince if as long as the skeletons are on your side of the map, so that the tower can shoot the prince while the skeletons are distracting it. So also I chucked in a rage spell. Now, rage spell can be used very well with a hog rider, but we don't have a hog rider, so in this case it's a very, very bad card, and I think I only use it once, and it's just a horrible card. And then I was thinking the Skeleton Horde. Now the Skeleton Horde is actually pretty good. I just put it in there just because we needed something in this deck to be a pretty bad deck, but yeah, the Skeleton Horde can be very easily countered with arrows, which a lot of people are having nowadays, and it only really counters tanks. That's really it. So it doesn't really have much purpose at all. It's okay. It's quite a high cost. It's still an okay card. We've got the I think it's the Valkyrie, the woman with the axe that spins around. She's a 4-cost, and in my opinion, I think the dragon is a much better choice than her. I think they're both 4-cost. The dragon does almost the same damage, and it has almost the same health, but it's a flying. And flying, it makes it a huge more advantage than the Valkyrie. So I definitely would choose Mini Dragon over a Valkyrie any day. So that's why I choose it below it. So then it brings us on to the skeleton, the giant skeleton. Now the skeleton bomber, whatever you want to call it, it's actually a very good card. I've been using it a lot, and definitely do think it's a good card. It probably doesn't deserve to be in this deck. It's just because after the update they released the delay time. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when the skeleton gets destroyed, the bomb, it places a bomb, but that has a lot bigger timer now, so it lets some of the troops escape out of the radius of the explosion before it actually explodes, so some troops get away. So that's why I kind of downgrade it a wee bit. It's okay if you get onto the tower, but a giant is just better in every way than it. It's okay at wiping some sort of hordes out. It's an okay card. I'm not saying it's a bad card. Obviously this is my opinion as well, guys. So obviously there was no way I was going to win that. The only offensive strategy I had no long range troops at all, basically. So I switched the rage spell out in the next attack, and I put in goblins. Now we'll see. I'm going to put this on ×3 here, or ×4, guys, just to speed this up, just to make this a little bit faster for you guys. And you guys will see here, I do a little bit better, but it's the Zap, guys. The Zap is awful. It's absolutely really bad. Oh yeah, the only card I haven't talked about is I think it's the big huge rocket. I'm not really sure what it's called. I still honestly, guys, don't know the name of some of these cards, but it's okay at hitting base. It's not as good as it used to be. It's a little bit less damage with the update, but it's okay. I don't really see it being used that much. It's an expensive card. It's 6. You probably would never really use it on anything else but the towers, and it takes a lot of them to actually do anything. As you can see here, I'm just getting absolutely pushed to hell. There's nothing I can do. We don't have any. If we had arrows or something, it'd be so much better than that rocket. It's 6 elixir for the use of it. It's just not good, and the Zap does absolutely nothing. So I think the worst card in the game is either the single skeletons or the Zap. Oh yeah, guys, I was also going to tell you guys, if I was going to add cards in as well, I would have probably added the mortar, because I think the mortar is just I've seen gameplay of the mortar. I don't see many people use it. It's just not a very good card, so I would probably have added that in as well. Other cards that were honourable mentions, cannon. I think it's not bad though, because it's only a 3 elixir cost, so it's quite a cheap distraction. But the tombstone is a better distraction in my opinion, because a tombstone can take out hogs and it can take out princes. The cannon can't really do much, so I definitely recommend the tombstone over the cannon. Try other things. Obviously the skeleton, they are obviously awful card. Well, it's not an awful card, it's only a 1 cost, but it's just not really worth it in my opinion. Some guys might find use in decks, but I'm just saying that at this very point in this build on this update, I just think it's not the best card. By the way, when I'm adding new cards into the deck, I'm actually just trying to win, actually. So that I do really like the spear goblins. I added a mirror in at the end. Mirrors are actually something that I really underestimated as well. I wasn't really keen in using the mirror, but I found some really good uses for it, and it is a pretty good card. So let's try and get one last replay ×4 to conclude the video, and I think I actually managed to win a battle. I lost another battle, and then I added the mirror. So here's a nice little win here for you guys, and it's quite a fun little win. And it was just basically because the guy didn't have a very good deck, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Using P.E.K.K.A. Now, I was thinking about putting P.E.K.K.A. in this list because it is a very high costing card and can be countered pretty easily, but they do has massive damage. And when you can get that P.E.K.K.A. on that base, it's super good. If you're just a very good player with it, you can do anything. Obviously, none of the cards are really bad. It's just because my experience with them is not very good, and it's just the majority of players are not using them, so therefore they're just the weaker cards at the moment in the game. Obviously, they can update it, give them buffs, give other cards nerfs. You know, it's just the way that I actually think, and I think it's a pretty fair decision. I mean, the Zap is just absolutely awful. I just don't like it at all. It's a cheap cost. It doesn't do enough damage. You may as well have arrows. You just may as well have arrows for that space. Here we go with skeleton. It's just gonna take that out. Bang. Not bad. I'm just sort of pushing up. He keeps laying the P.E.K.K.A. It's very easily distracted, guys. Don't recommend the P.E.K.K.A. too much unless you have a solid strategy with it. So he manages to nearly take my tower out, and just on the very edge I fire over the last rocket and finish the game. He's on 20 health. Nice, sort of to the last little straw there, guys. In that I just managed to win that battle. So guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Please give this a like. It's my own opinion, guys, of course, about what cards I think is good and bad, but it was a pretty fair decision. I hope you guys appreciate that. Stick in for more Clash Royale videos on this channel, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.